topic. Oh, I didn't bring my book. I wrote a book on it.
I'm just going live now. I just want to make sure that that
Okay.
that all goes.
Yeah. So, hey, there's the book.
Yeah, somebody has the book there.
Yay.
All right, Edna.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay. That is the first edition of the book. It's in its second printing right now, and I am working on the third edition, which should be out in June.
Uh-huh.
And that's because there's a pretty major change happening to Google Photos on June 1. So I wanted to address that.
Okay. All right, we're recording now, and I just want to let everyone know that this meeting is being recorded. So if you don't want to be part of it, you can turn your camera off and it's up to you whether you want to be seen. If you're in the witness protection program, I recommend keeping your camera off. Who knows who else is watching? Good Zoom etiquette is appreciated. Keep your microphone muted unless you have some particular reason, and we do like questions, so unmute yourself to talk, and that's perfectly fine. I will be sharing a screen here so that it just takes over everything, and I have control over muting people and such like, so I may take advantage of that as we go along. It's just important for everybody to understand a little bit about the housekeeping here. Did you have anything to add there?
No.
Okay, so we'll get into it right away. I am going to get started here. And everybody should be seeing our screen. Somebody just pop up and say hello. Okay. I don't hear anybody.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
We see you.
You are seeing, okay. I want to make sure that everybody sees this little monitor that I have just behind my left shoulder. Keep an eye on that as we go along. We're just going to have
That's our Google Home Hub that is constantly showing our Google Photos.
Right.
Your little monitor is on almost off my screen. So
yeah, it's almost off mine too. It's, let me bring it a little closer maybe.
No, that made it worse.
That made it worse.
There.
All
That's
right.
better. Okay.
Okay, so that's just a little monitor there that I want to.
Not important, just to know how we're just going to talk about how easy it is to share and have your photos all around you if you're using Google Photos.
Right.
As Jim said, we do love questions, but we like to kind of control them a bit. So if you come up with questions, please put them in the chat. I'm assuming everybody knows how to use the chat. And just to start us off, if you would put in the chat whether you use an iPhone or an Android or neither. Being a photo club, I would expect that there might be some people that take photos only with the regular big cameras now. And I would like to see that. So if you just put in the chat whether you use iPhone or Android or neither for photos, and then I'll know who I'm talking to.
Okay, that sounds good. I do want to acknowledge Evelyn for bringing us in here. This is really great. I appreciate you. And if I can do anything else, we'll figure it out here.
Okay.
So put this over here so Chris can read it.
I do wish we could be there in person. You live in a gorgeous area.
Yeah, we've been there personally as part of the computer club. We've done a couple of seminars and presentations there, and that was a lot of fun. So I'm still trying to find my stuff here.
Yeah, and so also then, I guess I should have said, in addition to saying iPhone or Android, do you use Google Photos? Yes or no? So I can see.
That's kind of important for because we're going to be talking about Google Photos here.
My intent for today is Oh, I got a couple of yeses so far. My intent for today is for this to be an introduction. It's an introduction, but as I say, I've written a book on it, and I can get as detailed as you want to get.
Oh, she
So,
can, believe me.
But-
There's no question about that.
But I'm going to have an introduction and then any questions you might have.
Okay.
Now, the class materials are available to you. We have 3 different things. We have a simple printable handout. We have a slideshow that we're going to be using for the presentation. And we have a playlist of tutorial videos. And if you go to our website at geeksontour.com and click where it says classes, you will see a listing of all the classes we've done, and Laguna Woods Camera Club will be right there, and a link to all the materials. And I'll show you that in a minute. But if you want to review this class later, no problems. All the materials are available and indefinitely.
Okay.
Okay, so I see several. Oh, somebody just discovered Google Photos. Ooh. I'm curious, JP, who said just discovered it. What did you hear? I'm curious to know what
Go ahead and unmute.
JP.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What happened was I have this old Motorola phone, and after 7 years it stopped. So I got a copy of one from eBay, but I've lost all my photos. And I was sort of hoping there was a way, even though the old phone still has life, but a black screen, if there was any way to save those old photos. But since then, though, I discovered, when I was researching what to do, I discovered the Google Photos. And with my new old phone, they're all going straight to the computer, which is great.
Yeah, cool. You say your old phone still has life, but a black screen.
Yes, I still, you can't see it. Every day I still turn it on, and whenever the calendar comes up from laptop or the other phone, it beeps. So it's got a little life, but you cannot see the screen.
Huh. Yeah, and anything I'm thinking of in my head, if you connect it to a computer via USB cable, or if you put a USB drive into the connector right on the phone, it can get data off of the phone, but there's always some little approval that pops up on the screen that you have to tap yes to. So it doesn't sound good. Yeah. Now, Motorola might have come with Google Photos pre-installed. But if you're starting to use Google Photos now, then you've looked at your Google account, and if the pictures aren't there,
Right.
Some people have discovered, oh, look at this, my pictures are all here. Yeah, when they thought they'd lost them. Okay. All right, then let's get started. We will introduce ourselves a little bit, and then we'll get into Google Photos. So Google Photos, this class is about what to do with all those photos, how to privately store, organize, edit, and share your lifetime of photos and videos. That's what Google Photos is all about.
Right. Let's get out of here.
And who are we?
We are Jim and Chris. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. And we can prove it because we wear these funny little hats. And another word for a geek is a propeller head. And we happen to be real propeller heads.
Yeah, we are propeller heads. So
okay.
And we try to not take ourselves too seriously.
That's the important part. That's what we try not to do.
Okay. So that's who we are. And that's the geek part. We have been in computer training and support since the early 80s. And
yeah, Chris had the very first computer training center in South Florida. Here in Fort Lauderdale, she started that in 1983. What were you, 7, 8, something like that?
teaching VisiCalc and WordStar and
On Apple IIe's,
yeah.
a classroom full of them.
Things have changed a little bit.
Just a little.
So that's We Are Geeks. Now, what's the on tour part? Well, we are travelers. We lived full time in an RV for 14 years, for 8 years in that first one that you see on the left, for another 6 years on the one in the middle. And now we have a townhouse in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We are no longer full-time RVers, but we still travel around the country in that little camper van you see in the third picture. We make our living from our website, geeksontour.com, where a small amount of money makes you a member, and we give all sorts of perks to our members.
Specialization in Google Photos. Chris is a platinum level product expert, which means that she gets paid very, well,
Yeah,
they don't pay her anything
nothing,
actually,
yeah.
but it is kind of cool. And she wrote the book, Learn Google Photos. Anybody remember Picasa a few years back on your computer? That was a great program for a lot of people.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, indeed. Yes.
She wrote that book too. She learning.
Sounds like there's some people that are still using Picasa.
We still do too.
Yeah.
Okay. So Geeks on Tour, we have a live YouTube show. We call it a show. It's called The Button Show. What does this button do? And we've had, it says here 209. We just finished 212, right?
Episode 212 was yesterday, yeah.
So we're doing a lot of that stuff and enjoying it.
And here is where you can get all the class materials for this class. I mean, if you learn something today and you want to review it, all of the class materials are available at geeksontour.com/classes, and you will see an entry for the Laguna Woods Camera Club class.
And we might show you that in a few minutes.
So, Google Photos. I mean, I could teach for a solid week, all day, every day, and not cover everything. So I've tried to come up with a way to give you a good overview. I like to start, therefore, with my top 3 reasons to use Google Photos. So reason number 3 is that there's easy editing right on the phone or the computer. You don't have to wait until you've transferred your photos from your camera to your computer and then use computer editing tools. You can do it right on the phone. And let's just put, that's a little short one, right?
You don't want to do that
video?
289, 489.
489.
Okay, let's find
And all of these videos are also available on that class materials page.
All
We have a
right.
lot of videos.
Yeah, we have a lot of videos.
489 photo editing.
And here we go.
So we've been taking lots of photos. We are in the RV on the road, and I like to just snap a picture out the window. On the left is what my camera captured, but on the right is the picture I wanted, and it just takes a couple of clicks in Google Photos to make that difference. Let me show you how. Here is the photo, and I'm just using Google Photos on the computer, but it works exactly the same on the phone. You have the same options. This is the edit button. I click that. And the first thing I want to do is crop. I don't want that nasty wall in the foreground. So the cropping tool is that one. And I'll just drag a corner up until I have the picture outlined that I want. And maybe it's a little crooked. There's no straight lines in this picture to check it against, but I think that makes the horizon a little straighter. So I'm done with the crop and rotate. Now I want to adjust the colors a little bit. I always try auto, And that does the colors pretty good. But I also wanted a little bit of pop. So I'm going to go into the adjustments. I'm going to drag the pop over. And I'm done. There is the picture I wanted, as opposed to the picture I took. All right, so now I want to give you a little demo. I want to do a few more editings.
Okay.
And let's see, and I notice it seemed to be kind of an equal spread between iPhone and Android there. So I'm going to start with the iPhone and show you a couple of samples. So I go into my Google Photos. Google Photos is that
Hit the focus there.
better? Getting there. And maybe a little bit there. Okay. So Google Photos is this pinwheel looking icon. And I open it up and I have some sample photos for editing. And I forgot to unedit them. Okay, so let me do this one. This one is a picture of us in Brisbane, Australia. And I think it's a very nice picture, but it could be better, don't you think? Almost always a photo can be improved by a crop. So I tap the edit button. Now I have three choices at the bottom: filters, adjustments, and crop and rotate. I tap crop. And I'm just, going to get a little bit closer to our faces. So we're in the third, for the rule of thirds, we're right at the intersection there for the thirds, and done. And then I want it to be brighter. So I'll look at the filters and I'll just look through some of the filters. Metro, that's not bad. Or Palma, but I think I would rather add a little what they call pop to it. So I go to the adjustments and there's light and color. So if I want more color, I can just drag that over, or more light or less light. But it's not just more or less. I can drill down on light, and here I have all sorts of options. I can just increase the light in the shadows, or I can put a vignette on it, and this is the one I like a lot, a pop. So pop just does exactly that. It just makes it pop. It gives more depth and definition to the picture. And then I'm done with light, so I close it up. I can see what it looked like before by long pressing. So there was my original picture. Kind of blah, don't you think? And there's the picture that after a couple of edits, right on the phone, and I tap save. And I'm done. Here's another example for that shadows. So I'm going to tap edit. And our faces are really in the shadows. But if I lighten the whole picture, the sky's going to get blown out. So that's where I'm going to go to adjustments. I'm going to drill down on light and just increase the light in the shadows. So now you can see our faces and the sky isn't blown out. I can close that up and save it. And let's see what else we got here. This is a good example for it's crooked.
Yeah.
So edit and crop and rotate. And then you just grab this little 0 point and you get lines on the screen that you can line up with. And then I crop so that the mountain is in the third for a rule of thirds. And then I want that pop again. The mountain just looks a little bit muddy. So I'll scroll down under light, find pop, and notice how much more definition there is now. That was my original picture. That's the one after the pop. Okay, so that is the iPhone. And I want to show you the Android because it's different. I think the Android editor is newer, so it will probably be coming to the iPhone. But right now it is just in the Android. So I'm going to look for my editing samples. And how about this one? So this one also, this is a lakeshore, and you can't even see the lakeshore. But if I brighten up the photo enough to see the logs on the lakeshore, the sky's going to get overexposed. Edit. And it looks a lot different on the Android. On the Android, everything is horizontal rather than vertical. So if I want to do adjustments, I tap on adjust, and now there's all these different options. And here is that option for shadows. And then I have a slider down here. So see how I'm lightening the shadows without lightening the sky. And I'm done with that. Now I want more color because this was a pretty sunset. Doesn't look like much of a sunset. Saturation, and give it a little more color. And then there's another one over here. There's that pop again. Okay, I think I'm liking that. So long press, there's my original photo. Let go, there's my edited photo. All done right on the phone. And so I do that every day. When I take a picture with my phone, I look at it. I say, oh, I think that I like that picture. That's a keeper. I like it, but I'll bet you it could be better. And I do my editing right then and there on the phone. I'm done. Don't have to wait until we get back to the computer. All right. So that was reason number 3. Reason number 2 is searching. My life's worth of photos. I have nearly 100,000 photos in my Google Photos library. And I can find anything without doing any organization. I'm lazy. I mean, I'll bet you guys in a photo club, I'll bet you have systems on your computer for folders and subfolders and categories and tags. I don't do any of that. My photos are all in Google Photos in one giant stream of 100,000 photos by date. I do create albums whenever I feel the need. So let me show you a couple of examples. And this, I'm just going to go to the computer. So at the computer, here are my photos. And you can see the dates along the side. So these are all my photos going back to 1965, 1950, actually 1890.
Yeah, we have a time machine.
So here is a photo of my great-great-grandfather, and it is in my timeline at 1890. Now, how did I do that? I just take my phone and I snap a photo of the old family photo album, and then Google has an option where I can change the date on it. All right. So searching. Number 1, I can search by date. I mean, I can just scroll to a date. If I want to remember where we were in July of 2010, I can just scroll over here to 2010 and July. And I can see where we were in July of 2010. But what if I'm looking for a particular date? That would be under search. So the date that I always use an example is July 4, 1998.
Why does she use that? Just so we can remember our wedding anniversary. And to prove that we're geeks, because we got married in hats very similar to these.
We had a very unconventional wedding.
What do you mean?
I did not wear white. And we wore our funny little propeller beanies even then, because that's how we got together, because we were fellow geeks. But my point here is I just searched for the date and I find all the pictures that were on that date. I see that we have a couple of questions here. Let's break in, and can you please put the link in chat? So the link to the class materials. Yes, we will do that. What does pop mean? I don't know. You just do it and you see what it does. It just makes it pop. It gives it more definition, a little bit of brightness, a little bit of three-dimensional. It just makes it pop. And Doug likes that shadow tip. Good. When you save an edited photo, is the original kept as well? Yes and no. Actually, I'll show you that.
Okay.
Let's say, I'll do it on here. And so here is that photo that I just edited on the phone. Now I'm looking at it on the computer. How do I do that? Because it's in the cloud. Google Photos is in the cloud, and any device that is connected to the cloud can then see them and work with them. There's no software on your computer. I am just at a website, photos.google.com, and logged into my account. This is my private cloud space. Okay, so this photo has been edited. If I click on edit, I will get an option to undo edits. So when I edit it, I did just save on top of the original, but it does it kind of like in layers. I mean, it doesn't use the term layers, but it does it kind of like in layers, and you can undo. You also have the choice when you're editing of, you could save a copy. You know, if you really want the edited one and the original as two separate photos, then when you edit, you save a copy rather than save. Okay.
I put that link in for the geeksontour.com/classes.
And when you get there, you'll see a list of all the classes we've been teaching for different groups, and your group is there with a link to the course materials.
And you're welcome to look at the others we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. And videos, some good stuff there too.
Tutorial videos. Yeah.
All right. Back to the slides.
All right.
Is that the slides?
That's not the slides.
That's the slides.
Okay. So more searching. So I showed you just search by date. You can search for any date. No, back to searching. I'm not done with searching yet.
Okay, sorry.
By people. So watch this on the computer. Let me get out of here. These are all of my pictures on the computer, and under Explore, right under Photos, there's Explore on the computer. And the first section up here is People. I can click View All. And what Google has done here, it's looked at every single photo of mine, and it recognizes when there's a face in the photo. And it says, oh, I see a face. Then it looks at other pictures and it says, oh, I see the same face. And it puts them in a group together. It does not know who these people are. I add the names, and let me show you how that's done. So I'm going to scroll down to where people are not named. And here's somebody. I click on the first face, and that opens up a group of photos. Every one of these photos has his face in it. That's pretty good, isn't it? I mean, out of this whole group, it's picking out his face. Now, if I do want to be able to search for him by name, I need to add the name. And that's right here, add a name. So Rush manhole and done. So now if I want to, I can search for Rush manhole. And I will get all those same pictures. So that's searching by people and by dates and just by anything. So we've been to Mount Rushmore a few times, you know, as an RVer, that's one of the iconic places that you have to go and stop. So I can just search for Mount Rushmore and it will see all the pictures I've taken of Mount Rushmore over different years. So the first time we were there was in 2004. Here are photos of Mount Rushmore in 2004. I did not tag these. I did not organize them in any way to say that they are from Mount Rushmore. Well, maybe some of them, like this one. This is just a postcard. And
Mount Rushmore from the Canadian
yeah,
side.
Mount Rushmore from the other side. But most of these are just because Google knows what Mount Rushmore looks like. And it searches the content of the photo with artificial intelligence. What's my favorite? Eiffel Tower.
Le Tour Eiffel.
And there it is. And this was in 2001, before smartphones. So it has nothing to do with the GPS settings. It knows what the Eiffel Tower looks like and it finds it.
Yeah. There's an Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas also that it might find, and we've been there. So it's not always absolutely perfect. It's still pretty amazing the way it works, right?
And then things that you wouldn't even think of, like hugs. I love this one. Search for hugs, and you get pictures of people hugging, just because Google knows what a hug looks like. Or beer.
Oh, I like beer.
And it doesn't have to, and so these, you know, well, that looks like a wine glass to me, but it figures it's maybe it's looking at this beer tap back here to say that that's beer. So it is not perfect by any means, but it is amazing. And if I want to say, I'm not interested in looking at all the pictures of beer, I just want beer in Belgium.
You have fine taste.
Beer in Belgium. And there we go. We did go to Belgium a few years ago, and we are spoiled forever for beer.
That's for sure.
Okay. So.
Sides.
Yep. So by contents of the next one. But the number one reason is to gather all your photos in one place. I mean, if you all have tried to organize your photos, step one is to get them all together in one place, right? I mean, if some photos are on an old computer, some photos are on your phone, some photos are on a backup hard drive, some photos are on backup CDs, how are you ever going to find anything? Step one is to get them all in one place. Since Google Photos is in the cloud, there's no limit on the amount of space. And here's a little video to explain that. Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour. And in case you don't know, I'm a big fan of Google Photos. One home for all of your photos because it's in the cloud. In this little video, I want to give you a short visual representation of why I think Google Photos is so special. If you're anything like me, you have photos all over the place. You have photos on old phones. You have photos on old computers, on their hard drives. You have photos in old cameras, lots of camera cards around. Maybe you've put some onto CDs. And then there's just all the photos that we take with our phones. Well, Google gives you unlimited storage for free in the cloud for all of your photos. It's not just anywhere in the cloud, it's your account in the cloud. Private for your eyes only. It is under lock and key with your username and password. So what you do is you just start uploading all of your photos to that account. All the old photos from cameras, from CDs, from computer hard drives. How about thumb drives? How about CDs? And then, of course, all the new photos you're taking from your phone. Once they're all collected in the cloud, Google just waves its magic wand, and now they are all in date order by the date taken recorded on the photo itself. Let me show you what this looks like then on a phone or on a computer. So this is my Android phone, and there is the Google Photos app. And here's pictures I just took with this phone today, but I can go back, grab this little button, notice the dates go by. I can go back to 2004, and you know that this phone did not take these pictures. I am seeing all of the photos in the Google Cloud. All I need is a connected device and the Google Photos app logged into my account. So here is my iPad, there is Google Photos. It's looking at my same account. I can tell by the little account button in the upper right. And same thing, I could go all the way back to 2004 or before and look at all of the pictures that have collected in my Google account in the cloud. On a computer, you don't have an app or any piece of software. You just go directly to the cloud using a web browser. You go to photos.com. Or if you're on a Chrome browser, you can click on these little dots here and go straight to Photos. You need to sign in with your account, but the next time you do this, you probably will already be signed in like I am. I see that that is my account, and here are the same pictures that I saw on my phone and on my iPad. And here are the same dates. I can go back to 2004 or beyond and see all the same pictures that are in my Google account. Google Photos, one home for your lifetime of photos and videos.
Yeah.
I see a couple questions. This is a good time to address them. First from Dinesh. Then there would be many duplicates. How do you find duplicate pictures in your collection and to remove them? There is no tool. There is no tool for finding duplicates. However, you do need to know that Google Photos does not allow exact duplicates to exist. So for example, if I upload my, Italy 2017 folder to my Google Photos, and then tomorrow I forget that I did that, and I do it again, they will not upload. I mean, it actually looks like they do, so it's terribly confusing. But once they are up there and they'll see, oops, this photo is already here, and it will be rejected. So Google Photos does not allow exact duplicates. However, that said, there's an awful lot of pictures, I'm sure you all know this, that look like duplicates. I mean, if my folder of Italy pictures, I have a folder of the originals, and then maybe I resize them all for purposes of putting them on a website. And I have another folder of the same pictures, but in reduced size. Those are two different pictures, and they would both get uploaded. It's probably the number one request of Google is please give us some tool for finding and eliminating duplicate looking similar pictures. Right now, it's not.
Okay.
Marcia?
What happens if you pass away and no one has your password? Well, Google Photos charges money starting this summer. It's no longer free for unlimited.
Well, let's
photo-
answer one first.
Yeah, okay.
What happens if you pass away?
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's for your whole Google account. There's more than just photos in your Google account. You know, there's calendar and email and data. There is something called inactive account manager. And you can, if you think of this, I mean, just like you think of going to the lawyer and getting your wills drawn up, you need to think of your online accounts and make sure that you have a designated successor. And that can absolutely be done.
Okay. Can you elaborate on the new Google Photo charges starting this summer? It's no longer free for unlimited photo storage.
Yeah, we do have a couple slides in that. I promise I will get to that.
All right. And can I delete a photo from my iPhone and the photo remain in Google Photos without being downloaded again to my phone?
Yes.
Especially if I have limited storage.
So let me take a picture with my iPhone. And I'll take a picture of this good looking guy here.
Where?
Now I have to take another one. Okay. And because I have the Google Photos app on my iPhone and I have the setting turned on to automatically upload that to the cloud, in just a minute, we should be able to see that picture on the computer. I just want to prove that before it's not there yet, but if I refresh the screen, I'll bet you it will be. Nope. Okay, that's because I have it turned off on here. I was experimenting with stuff this morning. And
you need to turn on.
I need to turn on backup and sync. Yes, and that is in your settings. And now it's on.
You should probably show that.
Yeah, I should probably have been showing that, huh? So that setting was under your account button, photos settings, backup and sync, and mine was off. So they weren't going up there. It is now on, and it tells me that backup is complete. So now I can look at the computer, do a refresh. And there are those two pictures that I just took of Jim. Now you say you don't want them taking up space on your phone. Here's the deal. If I tap the trash can, that means Google interprets that as saying this picture is garbage. I want it gone from everywhere. If I tap the trash can, it will be deleted from iCloud Photos, from Google Photos in the cloud, and from all your devices. So I'm going to say, no, that's not what I want. But if instead I swipe up, I have the option to delete from device. So that is freeing up space on the device, but I won't even notice that the photo's been deleted because I am seeing the cloud copy. So that's, and if you want to do that in bulk, right here, it tells me 1,671 items to delete from this device. These items have been safely backed up to your Google account. If I tap there, in one tap, 1,671 photos will be removed from the iPhone, but still be available to me on Google Photos. Okay.
Does Google Photos save photos in full resolution, or are they compressed?
it depends on, it's your choice. It's your choice. And that is a setting called, so I go into Google Photos settings, and under backup and sync, you have the choice of upload size, high quality or original. So high quality is slightly compressed. It is up to 16 megapixels. No phone that I know of takes a photo bigger than 16 megapixels, but you guys might have cameras that take pictures better than
Oh, I bet some of them
bigger
do.
than 16 megapixels. So that would, this doesn't bother me at all to go to high quality, because none of mine are more than 16 megapixels. But
And they look great.
yeah, but original, you can choose original.
Okay. I have iCloud account for 2 terabytes of storage. Well,
Can I have all those pictures transferred over to Google account? Yes. But you should, well, you should do it before June 1 if you're okay with the high quality. And I will explain that more. Apple recently came out with a procedure. I haven't done it because I don't have the need, but Apple has a procedure to transfer all of your iCloud photos to Google Photos. But you actually don't even need that. If you're using iCloud, that means that all of your photos are on your phone, right? It may be maybe just in the thumbnail, but they're all on your phone. If you all you have to do is install Google Photos on the phone, turn on backup and sync, and it gets all of your iCloud photos and uploads it to Google Photos. And it gets the original if you check that box that you want the original. Okay, next slide. Let's see where we are. So how to gather your lifetime of photos. Most people I know take the great bulk of their photos these days on their phone. So step 1 is you just install the app on your phone, turn on backup and sync, make sure that you're connected to Wi-Fi, and boom, they just start going up. Now, depending on how many thousands you have, it might take a while. But once they're all up there, then you take a new picture and boom, it goes up. Now, from a computer and hard drives, there's 2 different methods, manual and automatic. Manual, you can drag folder by folder. Automatic means you download a piece of software called Backup and Sync, and you just tell it to upload everything. The first time I did that,
it took a while.
It took a week because I had probably 60,000 photos on my computer. But that's how you did it. And I have videos on all of that, but we're not gonna.
Old prints and slides.
Old prints and slides. I have a couple samples here. So the way I do it, but once again, I am not a professional photographer. I'm a lazy photo organizer, but this is just good enough for me. Yeah. So here's an old print photo of me as a baby on a surfboard.
So it wasn't that long ago.
My parents lived in Hawaii. My dad was stationed in the Navy there in Hawaii in 1953. So let me show you what I would just take my phone, either iPhone or Android. I'll use the iPhone because it's what's in my hand. And will you hold it?
Sure.
So I just take a picture of it. Now you might try to get a position with the best lighting.
Get rid of the glare.
Yeah.
There are some special apps that you can do to get rid of the glare.
Yeah.
You probably know about some of those.
The one that we teach
Photo scan?
is called photo scan. Yeah.
Yeah, we like that.
But now here's an advantage to just snapping pictures. I see there's writing on the back of this. I'm going to take a picture of that too. And it'll be right next to that original picture.
And then you can use Google Lens to recognize the handwriting.
Oh, geez. Okay. So now let's look back at the computer. And I will refresh. There's the picture I just took. And yeah, not real good, but so just do a little bit of editing. I'm going to crop it. And I'm done with the crop. And then I'll do an auto. And that is just not bad, I think. Certainly good enough for me. Now, what about the date? So that is right here. It says that this picture was taken May 10. That's today. Well, it's true. I snapped the photo today, but that image was captured in 1953.
Before I was born.
So now when I look at the pictures, it's gone from there. Now I better put this one in 1953 too, or it's not going to be with its. Okay. She has a fit if she doesn't get a ride. So now if I go down to 1953, there it is. So it has instantly been put into order by the new date. Okay.
Sorry.
I think maybe the next slide is about. So what is changing on June 1? For the entire time that Google Photos has been around, it started in 2015 up until now. If you accepted the high quality setting, which is the maximum 16 megapixels and slightly compressed, if you chose that setting to save space, Google gave it to you for free, gave you the space for that for free. It did not count. So that's the bad news. The good news is that anything that you have uploaded before June 1 is grandfathered in. So my 100,000 pictures that I have done in high quality, most of them, it's taking up zero space. And that will continue beyond June 1. So for those of you who are using Google Photos now, I strongly encourage you, take a look at one.google.com. If you go to one.google.com and log in with your account, you will see how much storage is being used. Your Google account storage is shared between Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos. Using the Recover Storage tool, you can get your Google Photos storage to 0. That means retroactively compressing all of your existing photos. Now, if you don't want the compression, then this doesn't, then you've had to pay for storage and you have to continue to pay for storage. But also storage isn't much. I think it's the next slide. No, maybe one more. Okay, I thought I had the pricing in there. The pricing is
You're on the wrong slideshow.
$2 a month or $20 a year for 100 gigabytes. And it goes up from there, but it's very competitively priced.
Okay.
Okay.
There, other clouds.
Other clouds. I use Microsoft OneDrive. I use Apple iCloud. I use Dropbox, and I use Amazon Photos. My poor photos are scattered all over the place, but I know that they're in Google Photos. Now, every picture I take with my phone, I have it set up that it's going to Google Photos, but it's also going to OneDrive and Amazon Photos. So I have 3 copies going to the cloud for every picture I take. But I don't use Amazon Photos or OneDrive. So that's just for if something goes wrong.
Belt and suspenders.
Belt and suspenders, yeah. So, and I highly recommend that. Okay.
Yep.
Nothing
new.
No new questions. So I will keep going.
When you create an album in Google, where are they located?
Okay, I will do an album. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple more pictures. And then, so I took a couple pictures. I will do an album. Okay, so we will talk about that. But now I'm going to take a couple pictures with my Android, with my Samsung phone. The ones I took before were with my iPhone. So let's do a couple selfies this time.
All right.
And
I always like getting a picture of me with our crowd. Big crowd.
All right. Yeah. So we have you guys in the background on the computer screen. And I got to take a couple for good measure. And did I clean that lens? I don't think I did.
So you better clean your lens.
The selfie lens is really important to clean because you got fingerprints all over it.
Oh, that'll be better.
Yeah, that's
Look
a lot
at that.
better. Okay. So now I have some photos with that. Now, if you have a Samsung, you know that that is your gallery app. But if you're going to use Google Photos, don't use the gallery app. It gets really confusing if you start deleting and you don't know which one you deleted. No. And if you make an album in gallery, it's not going to show up in Google Photos. If you make an album in Google Photos, it's not going to show up in gallery. So you got to pick one app to be your primary photo management app. I say Google Photos is the best. So here I'm just backing out to the main Photos screen. So I'm using Google Photos, not the gallery. And I know that I'm in Google Photos because it says Google Photos up at the top. There are 3 buttons at the bottom. Photos is just showing you your 100,000 photos. Search is where you can find your photos. Library is where your albums show up. And there are other tools under library. So let's see how that's the picture with the dirty lens. That one, and then I cleaned the lens and that one looks better. So I think I'm just going to trash this one.
Except the guy in there is kind of ugly.
Moving items to trash deletes them from everywhere. Move to trash, but they will still be in your trash for 60 days. So if you realize you just made a mistake, you can go get them back. So let me make an album. First, I want to search for Laguna Woods because I'm going to make an album for Laguna Woods, and we've actually been there. So let me see if I can find any pictures. Notice I get 2 different. This one means a location, a geotag for Laguna Woods. This one is an album I've already made. I'm not going to choose either of those. I'm just going to search for Laguna Woods. And here are the pictures. So for my album today, I think this one is really pretty. That has your Laguna written in flowers. That's so cool. So to make an album, I select a picture, tap the three dots, add to album, and new album. And I'll say Laguna demo and check mark. And I want to add the pictures that I just
You're not seeing that.
took.
Very top. Get up. Yeah.
Okay. I also want to add the pictures that I just took. That one. And swipe up, add to album, Laguna demo. So your question was, when you create an album, where is it located? Well, first of all, the album is just a virtual grouping. I have not made a copy of those photos to go into the album. It's not like a folder. A folder is a storage location, and you have to have a unique copy of a photo to get in a folder. But an album is just a virtual grouping. Those photos are still only there once. They are in my Google Photos library, but the album groups them together. And on a phone, you find your albums in the library. And I have, oh, that should still be there. So where is my Laguna demo album? Should be right there at the top. Last modified, there we go. There's Laguna demo album, and there are the two pictures in it. And I could share that if I want easily, you know, that's cool.
How do you, can you show how to select high quality versus non-high quality or original size?
How to set the setting? I can't select, they're pretty much all one or the other. But the setting, okay, is under your account button and photos settings and backup and sync and upload size. Upload size, original or high quality.
Okay.
All right.
Slides.
Yep.
3 more.
So you've seen me take some pictures now, and you've seen me work with them. What if I lost my iPhone? You know, I went for a boat ride and it went over the side.
Not again.
Have I lost my photos? No.
Depends.
Because they've been copied to the cloud. All I need is any other device that can connect to the internet, the cloud, and I log in with my Google Photos username and password, and voila, there are all my photos. Or I get a new phone. I just get a new phone. I install the Google Photos app, give it my username and password, and all my photos are back.
Okay. What's the difference between a folder and an album?
Yeah, a folder is a storage location for copies of photos.
And it's usually on a hard drive on your local computer, but there are other cloud-based tools that maintain a folder structure, like Dropbox or Drive. Those will maintain your structure. Google Photos does not care about your folder structure whatsoever.
No folders.
None at all.
You have to if you're going to use Google Photos, you have to unlearn folders.
Yeah, folders is your organizational structure on a computer in many cases. Albums are your organizational structure for Google Photos. And it really does make it easy because your photo is there one time and it can be in multiple albums. That's one of the really cool things. Yeah.
So it's just a virtual grouping. So let's do video 621.
Okay, give me a sec there.
We're at an hour.
Yeah, we're getting close. 6:21.
Yeah.
Try and find that. Share an album. Please.
Hi, this is Chris Guld with Geeks on Tour, and this quick video is about how to share an album with a link. So in Google Photos, first find your albums, then open the album you want to share, and click the share button. This is on the web, on a web browser, either Mac or Windows. Then create link and copy. Now you can paste that link wherever you want, in a Facebook post or in an email. So you would just right click in your email or Facebook post or whatever and paste. And when people receive that link, they can click on it and see your pictures. On an Android phone, it looks like this. I'm in Google Photos app. I find my albums. I open the album I want to use. I find share, and then get link. And link is copied. Now I can go somewhere else and paste that link. On an iPhone, Google Photos, find your album, open the album. Share is under the three-dot menu. Then you have to do share to and create link and copy. Now you can go somewhere else and paste. So for example, long press and paste. Sharing a link to an album is the most efficient way to let other people see your pictures.
Yeah, good job. I don't see any other questions there, so we'll move along.
Okay. We've just passed an hour.
Yeah,
I understood that you sometimes go as long as an hour and a half, but I'm going to try to wrap it up shortly here. Maps. Oh, I love this. So I was thinking of a picture the other day, and I didn't know, I knew where it was, but not anything about its name, or it wasn't in an album. All you have to do is search, and then there's your places, your map. I tap on your map and explore now. And I have a map on the top, and I have my photos on the bottom. Everywhere on the map. And I love showing this to brag. We've been everywhere in the lower 48, and we have pictures to show, to prove it. Look at that. We have a lot more in the east than on the west. That doesn't seem right.
get over it.
So I can just go to any spot, and wherever there's a color dot, that's where I've taken some pictures. And you tap on the color dot, and the pictures show up down at the bottom, along with a black dot up on the map. Each black dot represents a day that you've been taking pictures. So as I scroll through the pictures, the dot scrolls along the top as well. So makes it so easy to find a picture if you know where it was that it was taken. Now, how does it know where it was taken? Because I took it with the phone, and the phone has GPS on it. Now, it might know where it's taken, even with a camera without a GPS, by landmarks. You know, it can assume that a picture is taken a certain place if your Google Maps recorded that you were in that place and you took a photo at the same time. So there are ways that it knows where it was taken, even if you don't have GPS, but the GPS is the best. So that's the map. Prints. Once your photos are all in one place, all in this Google Photos, you can get prints very easily. Google has decided that that's a way they are going to make money, is by giving us ways to spend money with them on there. So this is a photo that I just said, hey, Google, make me a canvas print. And it comes completely ready to hang.
Canvaspop.com, they say a canvas print is your.
Hey, Google, stop.
It comes completely ready to hang on the wall and it looks beautiful. Another thing is books. And you can get books printed all sorts of places. You can get canvas prints printed all sorts of places, but it just makes it so easy to do it from Google. And it's a little less expensive.
And they do a beautiful job.
They do a gorgeous job. Yeah.
So,
And this was just an album. So I made an album of our best photos from our Australia, New Zealand trip. And all I had to do is say, make me a book from that album. And boom, it's done.
it's gorgeous.
No work.
Nice stuff.
And the last thing is that that photo frame that has been behind Jim's shoulder the whole time here, that is connected to the internet. So it is shown, if we went out and took some beautiful pictures and put them in our favorites, marked them as favorites, they would just show up here. We've gone for a weekend trip, and when we come back, they're already showing up on our photo frames.
And we can, this is a photo frame that does several things, but we also can put them up on our big screen TVs that we have around the house. So the big displays are big photo frames. You know, there's not that much on TV these days, so you can just have your pictures and see them all around the house. And those are the things that make you smile.
Yeah. Yeah. I love seeing our best pictures on the big screen TV.
All right.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yep.
Just a little bit about the book. We have the Learn Google Photos. We invite you to purchase that book. It's on Amazon and Kindle, or you can find it on our website. And we have a promo video for that, but we're not going to do that right now. Let's do the questions. So we have some questions for you. You didn't know there was going to be a quiz, did you? Okay, true or false? Google Photos can find your photos of the Eiffel Tower with no tagging because it knows what the tower looks like. True.
Go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, go ahead and unmute and turn your cameras on if you want.
That's all.
True or
Join in
false?
here.
If you need a computer to edit photos with Google Photos.
False.
False. Okay.
Mhm.
If you lose your phone, how do you see the pictures you took with that phone?
Use any other device.
Very good.
Any
Any
other-
other connected device, as long as you know your username and password.
Okay. And how do you mark a photo as a favorite?
And I didn't do that one.
Oh, well,
Mhm.
okay. Well, we'll ask it anyway. Add to the favorites album, click the star, or type favorite in the description.
You
I'm
just
guessing
click.
B.
It is B. Click the star, and I will show that. Let's do question number 5, and then I'll
The
show
simplest
favorites, 'cause I
way
love
to
it.
get old prints and slides into Google Photos is pay to have them scanned. Well, that's probably the simplest. Use your phone to capture or buy a scanner.
Up to you, but I like just using my phone and snapping a picture of the picture. A few tweaks with the editing, and
Yeah,
they're great.
yeah,
Um,
cool.
Now, favorites. I do want to show you favorites. Because, for example, we went to Australia and New Zealand in February of 2019. So let me go back here to February of 2019. And gorgeous. I mean, is that nice pictures or what? But thousands. I mean, I probably took a couple thousand,
And I easily took 1,000.
and Jim took a couple thousand, and he can share his with me and I can share mine with him. So if I want to show you all our New Zealand photos, that's a lot of work, but it's a lot of looking at similar looking photos for you. I mean, here's a picture of a kiwi. I'm not going to take just one picture, right? I'm going to take 3 or 4 pictures to make sure that I got it. All I have to do to mark favorites is tap the star. And boom, that's added to favorites. Now, instead of showing you all of my photos, I can go to library and just show you my favorites. So these are pictures just from last weekend, and I can scroll down to February 2019. And here are my favorite pictures from New Zealand. Instead of all my pictures of New Zealand, they're just my favorite pictures of New Zealand.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one to end with, because they're such pretty pictures.
Oh, they are, that's for sure. Okay, we want to let you know that you can sign up for our free newsletters, geeksontour.com. If you know how to use the QR code, you can actually take a picture of that or scan it right now, and you can sign up for our newsletters. Highly recommended. And we want to thank you to our premium members. They are what makes this possible. They support us, and so we invite you to become a member and support us. geeksontour.com/join now. And that's it for us. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we're Geeks,
Geeks
on Tour. I'm going to stop the share now, and we can come back out.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It was very interesting.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was wonderful.
Okay, well, this whole thing is recorded, and I'm going to actually stop that recording now, but I'll put the link in the chat so that you'll have it.
Well, and the link will be on that